I want to talk about Bo Nix, who, and I've said this, I think Caleb Williams is good enough to overcome maybe a bad coach. He'll still be productive. I think the rest of these guys are situational. I don't think Bo Nix could go to a defensive coach that didn't have a feel or a bad offensive line. I think he and Sean Payton is like, that's where he needed to go. So I was kind of blown away. He made a throw down near the end zone, and I was like, oh, that's a real throw. It's a snap throw, quick. I was impressed with Bo Nix. You're a coach. What did you see?
What I was most impressed by and really most surprised by is the fact that Sean let him throw 21 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you typically don't get a rookie quarterback in his first preseason game throwing the ball that many times, and over the course of the throws that he had to make, he was pretty efficient. He looked in control. There were some times where I thought he left the pocket a little bit earlier than he had to, but Sean obviously went into the game and said, we're going to take a long look at him, and we're not going to go in and have him hand off 2 times and then throw a screen pass. We're going to see what he can do, and I thought he did a really nice job for his first exposure. But in fairness, Zach Wilson, I think, was 7 for 9. So both guys had a pretty good outing for the first exposure. It's going to be interesting to see as we get to this next game, where there's a little bit more game planning, a little bit more variety from the defense, asked a little bit more in terms of what you're giving them offensively, whether or not we see that same level of efficiency.
So this is interesting to me because Mangini was on First Things First the other day talking about Bo Nix. And he pointed out the fact that, Bo Nix threw for 21 times or whatever. And the way how I interpreted it was that he was pretty much saying Sean Payton really wanted to see something. He needed to see something. That he's looking for Bo Nix to show him something, kind of to me implying that he hasn't shown it in practice, or that he's on the fence and he just needs to see more. He needs to be like, I need to see who Bo Nix is. Let's see what he can do. Let's let him, let it rip. And now here he's kind of painting it, I think, in a slightly different direction, a different angle, where he's pretty much saying Payton let him do it because he kind of believes in him. It just seems like it's just slightly different angle. And I think both things can be true in a way, that he wants to see more from Bo Nix, but not in a negative way. It's just like, I want to see what this guy can do. Let's let him on, let's let him loose in an NFL type setting. I think Sean Payton has a tremendous amount of belief in Bo Nix, because I also don't think that he was going to put Bo Nix in a position to fail in this preseason game like this. So he put Bo Nix in a position to do what he believes he's capable of doing, right? For a quarterback that you're unsure of, you wouldn't just say, all right, here we go. We're just going to let it rip. We're going to let you throw the ball. If you throw interceptions, if you have bad reads, blah, 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 just so be it. We're going to see it. It's going to be exposed. I need to see it. I just don't think that. I think Sean Payton sees who Bo Nix is, put him in a position to succeed, and believed he was going to succeed. He's like, not only am I going to, because sometimes you put a player in a position to succeed. Lots of coaches do this, but they're unable to succeed, right? It's like, despite their best efforts, I'm putting you in a position to succeed, but you just can't get it done because you just don't have the talent. You just don't have the ability, or you just don't have the experience. And if we want to point out that Zach Wilson, was 7 for 9 or looked good, the guy's been in the NFL for years now. Okay, he's been in actual, legitimate, real NFL games. If he can't look good and competent and composed in a preseason game, well then, man, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. You better look comfortable. This should be easy for you. Doesn't mean that you have to look like Patrick Mahomes, or you have to go, 10 for 10 and throw for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying that, but it should look very comfortable for you. Very comfortable. So I'm just not going to be so quick to be like, oh, look, they both comparably played well. One is at a massive deficit, Bo Nix. So if the fact that they even remotely look equal or anything special, it's just to me, then that goes to Bo Nix. And I agree with what Orlovsky said, that Bo Nix is QB1. That he has shown that he is capable of being QB1, that he should be, that it's really no contest. This is who Sean Payton wants. This is who Sean Payton trusts. And this is legit. This is who your quarterback needs to be. And if anything, then that potentially puts the Broncos in an interesting situation where if a quarterback goes down and they're fighting for a playoff spot, right? This happens all the time. This actually happened with Minnesota. I'm going to use Minnesota as another example. Ironically, Sam Darnold goes down, but they're actually legitimately winning and fighting. Maybe they say, you know what, we want Zach Wilson, and maybe they get a legit, I don't want to say haul, but they get a legit trade for him that now helps the Broncos in the future. That's a possibility. I think that's a more realistic possibility than anything else, than Zach Wilson being the starting quarterback and Bo Nix sitting. I don't necessarily see that. Maybe, because Sean Payton wants to win. Sean Payton does not want to play games. Maybe he does see legit that Zach Wilson, he can actually win with Zach Wilson as well. He has 2 quarterbacks, maybe 3 quarterbacks who he can legitimately win with as well. Then maybe you hold on to him just because you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to take any risks. Quarterbacks get injured all the time. Enough of these, 5, 6, 7 win seasons. Let's go. Enough. Let's go. I think that's a possibility as too. I mean, it's hard to really know because you just don't know what all 3 quarterbacks, how the coaching staff is viewing all 3 quarterbacks. But to me, it's obvious that they view Bo Nix as number 1, that Bo Nix is the intended starter, that someone like a Zach Wilson would have to be playing out of his mind. It would have to be like, that's right, I'm a top draft quarterback. The Jets are just bad. I am for real. I am legit. Link me up with a good coach. Let's go. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. It's possible technically. I just don't see it going that way. So I'm excited for Bo Nix. I think the throws that he made, his confidence, and I know, Mangini, right, you're always just kind of looking for something to kind of criticize, like anyone is, and I've talked about that in a previous video. And so they're saying, like, oh, he kind of moved out of the pocket a little soon. And it's like, again, man, we can watch film of Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and you'll always be able to pull something out that says, hey, he did this, he did that. So I get it, but my concern is like when you're talking about a quarterback like Bo Nix or some of these young quarterbacks, a lot of fans take it as, see, aha, he didn't actually do as good as you thought. He missed some throws. Like, what was that one throw he made? It's like, I don't know, man. Let's look at all the throws that Patrick Mahomes has made. He's made some really bad throws as well. Same thing with Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Like, we can go down the list. So with these rookie quarterbacks in this limited sample size, they always want, if they bring up a negative, a lot of the haters or some of fans want to just jump on that and be like, but what about this? He's got happy feet. He's got bad footwork, whatever it may be. And so I'm always wanting to be like, let's relax on that. Just like we should relax on some of the positives because it's such a small sample size. Let's relax on the negative as well. It has to go both directions. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? What stood out to you for Bo Nix? And what do you think, if any, like, what do you think the idea of him throwing so much in preseason was for? Was it because Sean Payton needs to see more? Do you think, like, he just wants him to get comfortable? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.